Welcome to the It's Just Us radio show. I'm Charlene Bowden, and we are videotaping today. We are audio taping today because I want to make sure that we capture this important message from these two very special women in front of me. Joining me on the show is Miss Maseray and Miss Malika King. Welcome to the It's Just Us radio show, ladies.
Thank you for having us, Charlene.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're going to talk about a lot of different things, but really just one thing in particular. So I want to start off, though, with you, Maseray. Share your story with us. Who is Maseray Young?
Well, Maseray Young is a girl, a woman now, that was born and raised in Sierra Leone, West Africa. I know we've been on the news, so people pretty much know where we are. Came to the United States about 26 years ago. And I joined my sister, Betty, who was also lived in Sierra Leone for a number of years, and she joined her husband. Went to school here. I'm now married to Elgin Young. I'm in the ministry with Charis Bible College. I graduated 5 years ago from Charis Bible College, and I'm now serving in the capacity as a coordinator, which is basically helping the students through the journey that I started myself.
Okay.
Yes, and as far as career-wise, I'm a real estate professional. I'm an associate broker with Keller Williams.
Okay, great. And let's bring Malika into the conversation now. Malika King, we have a history together, and it's so good to reunite with you.
Absolutely.
So you want to share a little bit more about what you do in the professional world and who you are?
Absolutely. I am a licensed professional counselor and have a passion with working with women and children. And I'm also a homeschool mother. And so it's been a blessing and an honor to come alongside Maseray to serve the women and children in Sierra Leone. Share
more about that. Tell us about the way that you two work together and that you're serving these young people.
Absolutely. Maseray and I, we've had a long history together. We've served in ministry together, gone to church together, and several years ago, Maseray was getting ordained, and I was there at her ordination, and the Lord spoke very clearly to my heart while she was being ordained that I was going to work with her overseas, serving women and children. And it was such a profound experience when God spoke to my heart. It's like one of those things that it was just so real and so powerful. It just overwhelmed me in a moment, and I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't say anything to Maseray. And indeed, I just sat with it for about 6 months. And then the Lord said it's time to talk to Maseray about it. I was actually a little nervous to talk to her about it. Didn't know how to broach the conversation.
Yeah.
And when I did, she said, "Did I tell you that I was going to start a ministry in Sierra Leone, West Africa, serving women and children?" We were both about screamed and jumped out of our skin. But that was kind of how we kind of joined together, and we've been running ever since.
Yeah, wow. What did that do for you?
Incredible, because you're looking at someone. I'm a stepmom of a son. I'm Carrie is a grown boy now. The only experience I've had with children have been watching my nieces and nephews grow up. So when the Lord gave me that call to be able to do this with women and children, I feel like Jeremiah, I'm a child, what do I know? That's the first thing that came to my mind. What do I know about children? One thing I knew for sure was I loved the calling. I would love to work with them and help them. But then as far as how that is going to be carried out, I didn't know how.
Yeah.
So he knew, the Lord knew the insecurity I felt about it, even though I was going to do it anyway, because I knew if he gave me the calling, there's going to be provision. So for Malika to come and tell me that, it was just that stamp of approval of God saying, I've got you, daughter. I will not send you on this mission alone. To bring Malika on board, someone who has children, she's a mom of 2 wonderful children, and has helped so many children, whether these were, is it adopted or foster children, and she loved them as her own. Yeah. She already has an experience to deal with kids that have troubles. The same situation that we have in Sierra Leone, the mental health situation, kids that felt like they've been abandoned and don't have anyone to love them. I bring with me the background of my country and the love of God. And she brings the practicality of what she's been doing. And she's taught me all these years to prepare me for what that was going to be. It's just been profound.
Wow. I think about a lot of women who were not able to, for whatever reasons, to have their own children. I think, but you're going to have so many kids.
Yes.
You're just going to have so many children. Yes. And if you have your own, sometimes it's like, ooh, how do I expand to so many needs? So that's always a blessing, like you said. It's just a little something somewhere that you can't see maybe in the moment, but now it's here. It's a ministry that was birthed. Share more about your outreach ministry.
Well, Esther KaiKai Memorial Outreach Inc. is named after my mother, Esther. Esther was the mother of everyone in Sierra Leone. She raised the neighbors, children, people that had nothing. If mom had it, they did. She had literally birthed that in the hearts of her children. I bring people from the street and I take them in. And to realize as a young child, everything that I'm doing today has been shown in my life as I grew up. So my mother was lived in the United States for years and decided to move back home. She went in 2010 and looked for a piece of property that she would buy to be rebuilt. And part of the plan was to have a few girls and few kids off the streets to be with her that she can train, and women that she can help to learn how to do trades. But prior to that, she's been supporting different orphanages. Every time she goes there, the whole city shows up because she brings goodies for everyone. I have not been to Sierra Leone prior to me coming to the United States. It was just something that it didn't happen. Yeah. But when my mom went to Sierra Leone in 2010, we didn't even know she had cancer. She was there in, I think, July, August. She came in the United States, but came back in August. Literally September 27th, she died.
Oh, wow.
And so all the plans, all the things that she had been thinking of doing, I have, as I said, I'm a real estate professional. I have already planned I had the plan for her building, all these things that what we're going to do, how we're going to help her continue the things she's done so well in the United States. So fast forward, she was buried in the U.S. Quite naturally, her family wanted her to be buried in Sierra Leone. So because we were not able to do that, we decided to do the 1-year memorial in Sierra Leone. Well, this is when the floodgates opened for me. When I got there, I was able to have a sneak peek into what mom has done. Oh, wow. The lives that she's affected. I knew before when I grew up, I saw what she did and the lives she impacted. But firsthand, my mother and my sister, Fatmata, who lives in London, have been so involved with this one particular orphanage that they've been supporting that it just captivated my heart. It finally began to make sense. All these desires, all these things that I've been wanting to do, I never thought in a million years I would be going back to Sierra Leone to continue what my mother started. That's where the journey began for me with Esther KaiKai Memorial Outreach.
Yeah, wow. So the part of the mission of the ministry is to educate, to train, and to empower. Taking each one of those, share what that looks like, or even if it's something that's in development, what you envision that looking like. So we'll start with the training part of it. What are the women trained to do?
Well, as far as training, if we go back, it's hard to talk about that without going to what we encountered in 1991. Okay. Sierra Leone went through a civil unrest, which had to do with diamonds. And our country was in devastation for 11 long years. Sierra Leone is one of the countries that all the neighbors would come to have great education. But because of this 11 year of civil unrest, everything came to a stop. Kids have not been in school. Girls barely can go to school. Boys have always had the upper hand. So we're talking about women our country was forward enough to where they allowed women to go to school. But when it came down to it, the boys were more in the position to get education instead of the girls. So we have women that are quite capable of learning that have not been able to do that. Their goal was to maybe send the oldest boy to school, see maybe he can be something and be enough to where he can care for the whole family. Yeah. So it has been a situation where the education system has just fallen through the trenches. So there's nothing there. And women have the ability. I'm a woman of Sierra Leone, and I know what we're made of. The fiber of these women is to create things, is to just change the whole dynamic of their family and their lives. And so that is an area that I've suffered greatly without going to school, not being able to be taught. So I feel like if we were to change the things that's going on in that country, is to focus on women and children. Because children want better for themselves. All they need is someone to come alongside and guide them, which is what we want to do, to guide them through this process.
Yeah.
So they can impact their own future. Not us doing it for them, but doing it with them to create the life that they want. And if you touch the heart of a mother, you've touched an entire generation. So that's why my focus is mothers and children.
And training the women to tap into that creativity, that
Correct.
strength, that tenacity, if you will, that they have to be overcomers, be fighters, be providers, and things of that nature. And then educating the children.
Correct.
Because that's where the foundation of everything builds up from, in education.
Correct.
And then empowerment. It really speaks for itself. But if you want to speak to the empowerment part of the mission?
Well, to me, empowering them, when you look at a group that has been beaten down so much, we all know God gave us all the capacity to be as greater as we would allow Him to be. But when all of your life you have failed, not because of choice, but because of the hand you've been dealt, it's hard to believe in yourself to even know you're able to do anything. Most of these women are homemakers. They grow their own crops. They take care of their children. They teach themselves at home. They watch, read books. So they have what is in them. They just need someone that would say, okay, tell me what's going on in your life. How can we make this come to pass? They need a hand. They need, and that's going to take sitting down like we are here, sitting down and just listening to their heart. There are some right now that I know want to be involved in what's it, tailoring, making clothes, homemade. I have a girlfriend who does designs. She's ready to go to Sierra Leone and teach them how to do that. Malika, you're involved in organic farming. That's something she's done with, she wears so many hats, it's incredible. That's something we can take there. Agriculture is a big deal in Sierra Leone. If we're able to tap into that and bring something like that back into that economy, tremendous for the children as well, to learn how to grow their own food, how to take care of the earth that God has blessed them with, and just enjoy it. Not just for themselves. They can eat some of these foods and then sell it to the locals. So there's just a number of ways to encourage them, especially spiritually. They have been beaten down to the point where they felt that they've been God-forsaken. We want them to understand that they are loved and they are accepted in the beloved. God has not forsaken them. Things may have happened that may have presented that, but God loves them so much and enough to where He chose us to come alongside and just build that thing up in them, that voice that said, oh, you cannot do it, you're not going to be able to do it. They would say, yes, you can. And let's experience that together. I want them to tell me what that thing is in them that they want to accomplish, and together we can do it. Yeah.
Wow. Ooh. Let me just breathe on that for just a minute. Because I totally get all of that. I totally get that. And it's, we just hear so many stories around the you can'ts, the no's, the not right now or never.
Right.
And just to have someone come along and say, yes, you can. Let me show you the way. Yes. Let's explore this together and see how to get this thing done. Whatever that thing is. It just really stirs something in me when I hear that. So
absolutely.
Yeah. I want to read this. I don't want to try to quote it. The UN has labeled Sierra Leone as the least livable country due to the poverty and deplorable living conditions that have been endured by its citizens. I want to talk about the impact of the Civil War to Sierra Leone.
That is the one thing that I felt like just shredded the very fiber of that country. I remember growing up as a child in Sierra Leone. I was thankfully had enough because my father was able to provide for us, even though he died so young. But I've never seen a group of people that were so innovative in the way they thought, what they wanted to become. We had, like I mentioned earlier, people coming from other Sierra Leone, West African countries to get the level of education that was offered at Bay College and all the other schools. When we come to the United States, we compete with the best of them because that's how knowledgeable and smart our country was. So when this war began in 1991 and it affected majority women and children, there was no way for them to go to school. There was no way for them to, they're just basically going day by day trying to survive. figuring out what the next day is going to look like. My grandmother, for example, had to walk from one province to another province. We're talking, say, maybe walk from Atlanta to Florida. Just to survive. Sleep wherever night meets you. Get up in the morning and go on. So survival was all they cared about. How am I going to get through my next day? I need to get to the border so I maybe can get away. She never got the chance. She died en route to that. My sisters, brothers, and their children were caged like animals trying to get away from what this war started and what it did to these folks. When something like that affects a nation, it is really hard. It's only by the grace of God to get the country to get back to where it should be. So over the years, when we went through the 11-year war, other countries have come on board and have helped to try to take us back to where it is. But so many bad behaviors and things have been built into the lives of these children. We're talking good 10,000 kids that were forced into war. 6,000 of them were made to kill, given weapons, and told them how to use it. So we have, millions of people with that mindset that now has to be retrained to come back in civilization and realize we don't have to come to this. This is not who we are. But it was what happened during the war, and there's nothing we can do about that. But what we can do moving forward, which we've been doing, has been remarkable. Just in January 29th of 2013, Sierra Leone was ranked number 4 as out of 20 countries that are fastly growing between 2010 and 2015.
Wow.
We were actually doing things. There are countries coming in, involving in doing things to bring us out of this rut. Then Ebola showed up.
Right.
And it's like you take one step forward and 20 steps back.
Yeah.
And what did it go after again? The mental health of these people, those left behind. Most of the children have lost either one or both parents. So this is why it's been so hard to get this country on track, as we have tried in the past 14 years. And it's just unraveled everything we've put together so beautifully. So once again, we have our hands full.
Yeah.
We will do it once more and take the country where it needs to be.
Absolutely. Wow. And that was going to be my next question. What has happened to the mindset and the mentality of the population that you serve with the outbreak of Ebola? And it's funny. I know what it did in my circles of people and where I am. And, it's totally different because we're close to it, but we're so far removed.
Right.
So I can only imagine just thinking about, we got some traction, we got some footage, and then boom, this next thing shows up. And then there's a reprogramming, there's a retraining, there's a breaking down those things that have come to look like barriers and just getting us back on track and getting us back on course. This may be a stretch, but I want to ask anyway. In thinking about, well, maybe not. So in thinking about Ebola and thinking about the situations that occurred as a result of the Civil War, and I know this 5-year window that we're talking within, what have been some of the accomplishments, the progression that you've made with the ministry during all these ups, these rise and falls in the mentality of the community that you serve?
Well, the past couple of years, we educated 26 children, in every way, from books, book bags, socks, uniform, paid tuition for the full year, give them food.
Yeah, before you go on, that's something you shared with me. A lot of people don't realize that.
And it takes very little. For $250, and this has been super generous, $250 will send one child to school and actually take care of meals as well. It's that easy, because most times you look at the big picture and you go, oh God, this is greater than me.
Right.
It is. We've been taking small bites. I have a rendering that has been drawn, a wonderful, great man, awesome man of God in Mexico who doesn't even speak my language, heard my story, fell in love with Sierra Leone, and did this beautiful, beautiful rendering of an architectural drawing for the building that we want to build in Sierra Leone, 7,000 square foot. It would take up to 200 children. We'll have a training facility for these women. My goal at this point is just, as we have helped them with the finances and we help them with food, there is so much more we can do. They are living in unsightly condition. The building is dilapidated. I mean, there are holes on the floors. I couldn't even bear to look at this space when I saw where these children sleep. So they're dealing with just the living environment is killing them. So what we really want to do is, as much as we've been helping them, we've given money, and we want to be able to build a space, not just throw some building together, build a place that they can see as their home, where they can learn to do things on their own, where they can have a bed. I mean, you should see the beds we took them, just foams. It felt like the best thing to these kids. They were jumping on it and playing. It doesn't take a lot for them.
Yeah.
And I asked the Lord, I was like, why are you giving me this grandiose idea of for a building for these kids? They just need a space. And the Lord said to me, I want them to see a picture of my love so deep that whenever they see that building, they will know they deserve it and they are worth it.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be some small building. I was thinking, he said, I want it to be a reflection of how much I love them.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe is it because I'm in real estate? No, Maseray, it doesn't have anything to do with you. It's just what it was.
Yeah. And too, I was speaking with a musical director on the last show, and he is of the performing arts portion of the ministry at his church. And so I asked him, why did you choose to target your services to the church? And we both concurred, because we want to have a level of excellency out here. Why do we always want to fall so short when it comes to things in the ministry, things in the church? Why not just keep that level of excellency across the board? So I totally get the elaborate building with all the bells and whistles, if you will, that are possible, because why not? Why not? We can do that anywhere else.
And Charlene, think about it. That's what the Bible says. We are to take care of the children and the widows. It is really, as a believer, as a Christian, I'm a minister. I've spent 10 years in Charis Bible College. 5 years of those is learning the love of God. 5 years of that is serving others. I've always served people. I know what it's like to get there and be a servant. I don't care to lead, because great leaders are great followers. You have to be able to follow in order to serve, which is what we're really going to serve these children. And I think of the mentality of the training that I have had in preparation to take care of these children. It is, when you said duty, I don't want it to come from a low-minded mentality, but it is. I feel like it's my duty to serve these kids. I cannot change Sierra Leone, but those 26, I can impact their lives in a way that would bring on change.
Right.
They get to choose. They get to have a free will that they haven't had in years. These women haven't had free choice either. They've been chosen. Husbands have probably been chosen for some of them. They've been forced into marriages they did not want. They've been abused by the very people that said they love them. Their entire story has been one bad story after another. So for them to get the latter years to be greater than the past, and we get to be a part of that, incredible. America, the people that love me, the people that support this ministry, to sow, whether it's $100 or $20, whatever they give, I know it's going to changes in this life that, there's no reward. There will be a reward, but there's no way to even to compute that in your brain. Only in eternity they would know what they're giving and their love and their support. Just you here talking to me is a blessing, because people get to hear about this ministry they never would have.
Absolutely.
Ebola has come in and is just continuing to ravage the lives of these people who already have issues in their lives. Tomorrow I'm going to one of my friends' homes. 9 of his family members have died. I'll be there tomorrow to support him. He cannot go to the funeral. He can't. This is the closeness of the pain that I've endured. I have Dr. Martin that just died. It was in Nebraska. That's my girlfriend's brother. So, these things are close to home. The ladies that are in charge of my orphanage, I'm having a hard time in communication. I pray every day that they're okay. I pray every day that when I don't get that phone call that says we don't know. Those kids are not able to reach me right now. We're not at that place yet. I'll communicate completely through them. And when that line of communication breaks, it begins to bother me, like, what's going on? Are they okay? So there's nothing you can do about that, but to just depend on the love and grace of God, that His protection is upon them. I think about them every single day.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait for this whole crisis to be over, for me to go to Sierra Leone and see with my eyes that these kids are doing great.
I bet that's challenging for you.
It is.
Wow.
Right now I'm sitting here with you. My whole body is in Sierra Leone, my mind, everything is there.
Yeah.
I think about them. I cannot wait to be able to hear their stories, because it's in listening to others that you can see where you can help. It's not the stuff, as great as they are, but my biggest heart cry is to be able to treat these kids as my own, to actually take them in bed, talk them in, and read them a bed story. The simple things that you all get to enjoy that they've never experienced. I want to be able to go from bed to bed to bed and experience that with these girls and boys, and sit with the women and just hear their hearts.
When was the last time you were there?
2011.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was supposed to go back this year, because we did our fundraiser. We raised some money, but I'm literally at a goal of close to $600,000 to get this building built, get it staffed, and we have teachers here in the United States that would help them with the education, because we can Skype there and teach. So we have ways to reach them without being there. But I'm going to have to spend months at a time in Sierra Leone to get the project started. My brother is moving there. It's one of my strong bases. My sister is moving. So they are going to be there taking care of the children. I'm thankful to all the people that have helped in my absence. But I mean, it means something to me to know that my family will be taking care of my babies. These are my children, and my girls, the women, are my girlfriends. I'm excited about that I get to really bond with these women, and we all pray about change together.
Yeah, and that's part of the memorial to your mother.
Absolutely. That's all she did. That was Esther's heart.
Yeah. Wow. So, Malika, coming back around now, what in this new project, what will be your role?
Well,
not new project, in the project.
Yes, I've been very hands-on with Maseray. We've done a lot of the legwork together in terms of from helping to create websites and putting out material to circulate, and also making contacts, the legwork for the fundraiser, just every capacity that needs to be done. I'm actually willing. What I'm most excited about is when the crisis is over, is going to Sierra Leone and meeting these women and children. It's my heart cry, because it just moves me to no end. Maseray mentioned, what's been written on their heart is that it's a God-forsaken country. And it moves me to no end to know that God, or how He's orchestrating this, through this ministry, He's orchestrating His love for them. How He spoke to my heart, and confirmed it in Maseray and linked us together. How He spoke to someone who doesn't even speak English, doesn't even speak Creole, across the country in Mexico, to donate this rendering. I mean, this is all about the love of God for these children and this woman in this country, and to go and be a part of it, and to just to minister love to a broken heart. That's what I want to do. I want to go there and just to share the love of God, and just tell them that you are somebody, and you are important, and you have value to this earth. You have something to contribute. There's a genius on the inside of you. There's something that no one else can do except you. To just go encourage them so they know that they have wings and they can fly and soar despite the circumstances that they're living in. How do you take what you've given and turn it into something that's useful, turn it into something that's worthwhile? Because we've all been given something, and they have something and that can surpass their circumstances. And And I think it begins with knowing that God loves them, you know, and then giving them some practical tools.
Right. So how can we help?
You know, finances are always it's the answer to many things. And you know, it would be awesome if people could come alongside and just like Maseray was saying, it's to even send a child to school is only $250, which isn't a lot from American standpoint, from what we're accustomed to living. $250 is not a lot to send a child to school. But right now, our most immediate need, because with the Ebola, is really about we need a transitional plan that's before we build our building. We're going to be renting property to house children. So we need finances to rent space where we can come in and not only just house children, but to bring people in. We also, our heart's desire is to bring missionaries in, like Maseray is affiliated with Cares Bible College. I've also graduated from there. To send missionaries in to do a lot of, you know, to share the love of God with them as well, but also they could share their skills. Right. You know, what they're good at, what they've been equipped with, to come and share that with them, to empower the women, to train them as well. So those are some of the things that I see being a part of, but also with you know, this temporary housing plan. This will be a good place for people to sow into, because after the Ebola crisis has passed and they're at a place where they're able to rebuild and it's safe to go into the country, there's children that need immediate housing. Immediate housing. I know I was talking with the Maseray. When the children are being released from the hospital, there's absolutely nowhere for them to go. It's not like America where there's foster care system. There's no, you know, foster home for them to go to. Your parents have died from Ebola. These children at 2, 3, 4 years old are just walking out the door.
That's very important. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I am. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, and so we that's what our immediate goal is to house these children that have been orphaned because of Ebola.
Yeah. Give us the contact information, Maseray. How do people give? What's the website address and contact information, things of that nature?
You can go to our website is on www.estherkaikaimemorialoutreach.com or ekmoi.com, and there's a donate link that you can just click on that button and donate. It could be a one-time donation. You could be monthly partners with us, because we have partnerships. I have people that give to me every month, ranging from $25 to however much you want to be a blessing. And the money is 100% of everything that comes into this ministry goes to the children. No one gets paid from it. We you know, there's just, it's all about the kids. We would give updates on how these monies are spent. We have to immediately really start planning. I mean, literally tomorrow I need to get on the phone and begin to talk to someone in Charlene about a building. And that's going to translate dollars. I'm probably going to need at least $9,000 to rent a space for a year, which is really, compared to American standard,
right,
it's not a whole lot.
Right.
But I have to pay the whole amount in full. That's just for the rental. Still have to take care of their food, light bill, and all, just like we do here in the United States. So as Malika said, money. We need the funds. The quicker we get the funds, the quicker. Because people are still working. If I'm able to get these monies to come in, I can pick up the phone and get things going before I even have to be there. So when I'm there, it's all about transitioning the kids in. So I'm asking for people that whatever you need to know about our ministry, go to that website. It's E as in Edward, K as in Kilo, O as in Oscar, M as in Mary, I as in India.com, ECMOI, and there's my phone number there, 770-714-9172. My email is, of course, the email address. Everything is on the website. We are in the process of updating, so you're probably not going to see a whole lot of things on there as far as the Ebola virus because everyone knows about it. But we will place that on the website so people get to know. If they have any questions, that they can give me a call.
Yeah, absolutely. So this audio is being shared around the world.
Absolutely.
Speak. Just what do you want to say to anyone, anywhere right now?
Well, the people in a salon, I just want to let una know, say, we dey think about una, we love una, we dey fight a good fight along una. Now una know, say, una God not forsake una. He love una very much. He choose we, una sisters and brothers in Christ. We dey come for can help una. So just keep on the good fight. Hold una head up and know, say, God love una. That's a message to Sierra Leone because I know they'll be listening. And for my friends in London, sisters, brothers, and other parts of the world, I can tell you how much I appreciate your effort and staying up to listen to this broadcast. And I love you guys. And as we're all doing different things, we all have our own different organizations we support. Whether it's Esther KaiKai Memorial Outreach or any other organization that's going to bless and support Sierra Leone, just put your hand to something in the name of love, really. It's not even the country, it's the love, because the people make the country. So anything you can do, whether it's to help us at Esther KaiKai Memorial Outreach or any other organizations, I urge you to please do so. And I thank you for your time. I thank you for caring enough to listen to us right now.
Thank you. Thank you both. Thank you so much. I am excited to be here, to be a part of this conversation. I am. It has been enlightening for me. I've learned a lot just being in your company and your presence, and we have had a couple of times that we've been together, and I thank you so much for sharing just even some of the traditions and the customs of your country.
Right.
That me being over here all of my life may not have been aware of. So thank you for just giving and, just from so many different parts of who you are. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Malika, for the introduction. I really appreciate that, and I'm glad to be a part of this in any way that I can also. Oh, It's Just Us radio show coming to you again with Miss Maseray Young, Miss Malika King. I'm Charlene Bowden. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.